Hello and welcome to today's Wellbeing Wednesday. Today we're talking about finding that path to a healthier and happier you after breast cancer. Okay, sounds so simple, but I know that it isn't. And I know that it could come with so much pressure, right? So much angst, so much stress and anxiety. And so I want to first of all say welcome. If this sounds like you and you're struggling to get your energy back, to find your motivation, it's like, okay, where'd it go? Like somewhere it's gone, right? It's just gone. And even if you were disciplined and motivated prior to cancer, you might be having this experience right now. So I want you to know that if this sounds like you at all, you are in the right spot. Okay. Because if we haven't yet met, my name's Karin Del Maestro. I'm a health coach, resilient routines expert, and I am passionate about teaching you the art of building habits in a way that withstand life, right? Withstand stress and fatigue, lack of motivation, and yes, even those sneaky chocolate cravings that you might be having, right? Now, I noticed after my own breast cancer journey that there was a big gap between going through treatment and then life after treatment, and the amount of support that we were fortunate or unfortunate to receive, right? Going through treatment, I felt like I was handheld every step of the way. It's like, okay, Karin, now we're going to do this, and then this, and then this. But it was afterwards, and I just felt like the rug had been pulled out from under me. And I kind of made a vow that I didn't want any other breast cancer survivor to feel that same way. And so I shifted my entire coaching practice to set it up to support you at this extremely challenging time. And I've even heard from so many of you that after treatment, in many ways, feels harder than going through treatment. And I get it. I understand it because I experienced some of that too until I realized that I was uniquely qualified to help you. I'll be sharing a little bit more about why that's the case later on. So we go from this hand holding and treatment, right, to kind of what now? When we're done with treatment, either you've rung the chemo bell or you've heard the words, I'll see you in 3 months. And you may have experienced like me. I experienced like this massive anxiety, sobbing out of nowhere, like what the heck? What the heck? Because I still felt like I was walking on a high wire and my safety net had been ripped away. And I was like, what now? And so, what I recognized through all of my research, through talking with hundreds and hundreds of breast cancer survivors, is that I see two very common circumstances. And I'd be curious if you want to comment below or shoot me an email to know which one sounds like you. So, you may be right now stuck feeling like you're constantly researching. You're looking for the right thing to do. You're like a Google expert. You're on Pinterest and Google and you're trying to gather all of the information so that you can figure out which one thing is the right thing for you to do. And this is great. Like such a fan of information and research and things like that. But I also know that we can very often get stuck in what I call analysis paralysis, right? Where we don't want to get it wrong, right? Because we know that the wrong thing is going to do the opposite of what we want, which is to help lower our risk of getting sick again. So we're looking for the one right thing. But what do you do when there are literally hundreds of thousands of things online when you look for the right thing to do? So if this sounds like you, then to me, it sounds like you're an inquisitive investigator, right? You've got your Sherlock Holmes hat on, you've got your magnifying glass, and you're just looking. But You might also feel paralyzed by not taking action, right? Now, that could be because you're overwhelmed, but it can also be because of the exhaustion or the lack of motivation. And there's literally, like I said, so much overwhelming information. It can be very, very hard to know what to do. So I want you to know that you're not alone. Now, the other circumstance that I see are people who decide which is the right thing for them to do. And they go all in and buy the new shirt to go to the gym, buy the new sneakers, like put every ounce of energy that they have, which is not a lot, right? We're often running on empty, into whatever it might be, moving your body, eating healthy, managing your stress. But it's not sustainable because you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be tired, or perhaps your body's hurting and you can't get to the gym. Maybe your car's got a flat tire or somebody needs a ride, right? I call those things life. Life gets in the way, right? And I'm talking about the normal, everyday life things. I'm not talking about the bigger things when the shit hits the fan. I'm not talking even about those right now. I'm talking about our normal, everyday experiences that throw us off track, stop us from being consistent, and always feeling like we're back at square one, having to start over again. So if this sounds like you, then you're a consistency chaser. You're just looking for consistency, right? So we've got the inquisitive investigator who has a hard time like deciding on the right thing to do and is really scared about getting it wrong. Doesn't want to mess up. And we've got the consistency chaser who makes a decision, goes all in, and life gets in the way and interrupts the flow and pushes you off track. Now, this struggle is real, my friend. I've been working in health and wellness for over 20 years, first as a personal trainer and since 2012 as a health coach, specifically working with women super closely on a daily basis. And I want you to know that this is what I have observed over this time. And I want you to know that it doesn't always have to be the way, because there is another option. And that is for you to be a resilient rock star. That's what I would love for you to be. Okay. A resilient rock star, somebody that when life comes along, you know exactly what to do to keep going instead of throwing in the towel. Wouldn't that feel good? Wouldn't that feel good? I want you to know it's possible. Okay. So let's talk about the gap between knowing and doing. Because one of the things that I get asked the most is, Karin, why can't I just do the things I know I ought to be doing? Drinking more water, eating more fruits and veggies, moving my body, managing my stress. Why can't I just do these things? And so it can become really, really frustrated because we don't even know how to do the basics. This is why, for me, I focus on the basics. I don't think we need to make it more complicated. We don't have to, when you've mastered the basics, when you've become a resilient rock star, then you get to explore things like going vegetarian or keto or taking on the hard 75 or something else. But right now, we need to kind of look at, where are you today? And I'm guessing that you don't have the motivation right now. Those things sound big, they sound scary, and they sound hard, right? And that's because they are. That's because you haven't yet learned how to manage the basics. And so I'm here to help you do that. I'm here to help you do that. And I know that with how tired you are, it can make even the smallest task feel daunting, right? The fatigue is real. We're also experiencing emotional and mental fatigue from being diagnosed, going through treatment, being done with treatment and saying, oh, what now? Like feeling like the rug's been pulled out from under you. There's so much emotional and mental fatigue from the cancer journey that can like suck every ounce of motivation and energy out of you. It's okay. It's okay. And I smile because I want you to know that this is just where you are today. It's just where you are today. And you might be setting really unrealistic expectations for yourself, right? Setting really high standards and feeling when they're not met. You might be saying, okay, I'm going to get all the laundry done today. I'm going to tackle the mail today. I'm going to take care of the garden today. And you just can't even get those daily chores done with your fatigue level and your motivation. And if this sounds like you, I want to send you a huge hug right now. And I want you to know that it's okay. I've been there. And I'm not talking about breast cancer. My first experience where my energy was gone, where my motivation was gone, where I was living with fear, was actually a car accident for me back in 2012. And when this car accident happened, I had been a personal trainer at a high-end gym on my feet 13 hours a day. Not only that, I was a single mom. I was training for biathlons. And talk about being active, talk about being productive, talk about putting a lot of pressure on myself to do all the things. Come home, cook a healthy meal, get to bed on time. Like all of the things. All of the things. And what happened with this car accident that left me with 5 herniated discs? In the beginning, I tried to push through. I actually went back to work as a personal trainer. Couldn't adjust the equipment for my clients, couldn't pick up dumbbells, but I put so much pressure on myself to just get back to doing what you were doing, Karin. Because it was almost like that was my identity. That's who I was. And without that, who was I? Right. And you might relate to that because often when we go through something like breast cancer or a car accident, a divorce, any other like defining moment in our life, it's very common that we experience this. And I tried to push through. I tried to ignore the pain until I couldn't anymore, until I could barely walk. And I remember the day that I left the gym for the last time. I was crying because the gym had become my family, right? Between my clients and also the other 21 trainers who were there, who were my friends, my family that I spent so many hours with a day. And I was crying because I didn't know what was going to happen. I'd never felt this kind of pain all through my body. I was scared financially because I knew I couldn't keep my house if I didn't have this money coming in on a regular basis. I didn't know. There was so much uncertainty about my future. And as I was getting into my car and pulling up to the traffic light to leave the gym parking lot, a big butterfly came and landed on my windshield. I don't know about you, but that's the first time in my life that that's ever happened. And butterflies happen to be very, very significant for me. They are for me a symbol that my lost loved ones are with me. But more than that, they're also a symbol that the universe has got my back. That I don't need to worry that somebody else is going to do the heavy lifting here. And I just need to focus on taking care of me, focusing on what I can do. And so that butterfly allowed me to exhale, to let go of that feeling of trying to control everything and just say, okay, one day at a time, one day at a time. Now, I had to learn a different way of being because I'd been the doer, right? Always busy, always working, managing the kids' schedule, getting them to their sports, getting dinner on the table, running, doing a full-time job, managing a house. It was no wonder I was exhausted. And it took 3 months after that car accident before my energy levels started to come back up. 3 months. And I know after breast cancer, it can take a lot longer than that. A lot longer than that. And so one of the biggest shifts that I had to learn as somebody that has always held myself to really high expectations, always put a lot of pressure on myself. And it certainly, came from when I was a kid and the pressure that I felt from my parents, but I kept doing that to myself, and you might be doing the same. And so the first question I'd like to ask you is, are you the one that's putting this pressure on yourself? And if you are, do you want to keep doing it? Because I can tell you it was a huge shift for me when I recognized the importance of offering myself more self-compassion, being kinder to myself, and acknowledging the fact that this was hard, this was difficult. Right? Suddenly, from going very active, now I had 5 herniated discs, which I still have, from my neck all the way down to my lower back. But what has happened, and this is what was so helpful for me when I went through breast cancer, because I'd already been practicing this for 6 years when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I had that leg up here where I'd already practiced being kinder to myself. I'd already practiced making my body my ally, not my enemy. Let me say that again, because I really want this to sink in. I'm going to encourage you to make your body your ally, not your enemy. Share the love and kindness that you would so easily share with somebody else without an ounce of hesitation. But share it with yourself and know that you deserve it too. Okay? It doesn't mean anything about you that you need to take things a little bit slower right now. Doesn't mean that you're failing. Doesn't mean that you're bad. Doesn't mean that you're lazy. It means that you're healing. It means that you're recovering from possibly the biggest trauma that you've ever been through in your life. So offer yourself some compassion, some kindness, like I had to in that car accident. I knew how to do it going through breast cancer. I knew how to be grateful for my body. I call it the vessel that carries me through these incredibly difficult things. And it's kept going and kept going. And I'm so grateful. But I know that that's not always easy. So often we're hard. We feel let down. We feel betrayed by our bodies sometimes. But is that fair? Is that really fair? Or could you be kinder? Could you be more compassionate? Could you offer yourself some grace to start doing life differently? Just like I had to learn back in that car accident. Because what happens when we start to do this, and you may need support for it, and that's why I'm here, right? I'm here to guide you on this journey, taking your hand, gently guiding you step by step through a process that I have been practicing now for well over a decade. Right? Giving yourself more self-compassion, not beating yourself up as much. I call this voice in our head negative Nancy, with no disrespect to anybody called Nancy. Right? But Nancy can come in hot and heavy, especially if you've been used to putting pressure on yourself, especially if you've been used to putting everybody else's needs before your own. But you get to choose now whether you offer yourself more love, more understanding, more grace for where you are today. Because it's just where you are today. Because I also want you to know that it doesn't have to be where you are always staying. This doesn't have to be your life from now on when you know what to do. When you know what to do. And so I would like to introduce to you the solution, right? I'd like to introduce to you the next gentle step for us to take together. so that I can help you and you're no longer feeling like you're the one that has to figure it out on your own. Because I know that that's so often how you feel. That's how I felt when I went through that car accident until I reached out to a life coach for help, until I reached out to a trauma therapist for help. Because I knew it felt too big, it felt too much, it felt too heavy for me to figure out on my own. And so I'm here to offer you the same support that I got years ago and have been practicing. So let me tell you about our 5-day summer reset that's coming up starting June 22nd. Okay. I have designed this specifically for breast cancer survivors. Now, if you're watching this and you're saying, Karin, everything you're saying is resonating with me, but I haven't been through breast cancer, then come join us. Okay. I'm not going to turn you away, but I keep in mind that I have specifically designed this for breast cancer survivors so that we are addressing the fatigue, so that we are addressing the lack of motivation, so that we are addressing this fear of recurrence that feels like a big black cloud that might be following you around. Okay. And so I designed this specifically with you in mind. We take small, manageable steps. For 5 days, you're going to get a task each day that takes less than 5 minutes to complete. Can you do that? I think you can. In fact, I know that you can. If you decide that you can, that's all you have to do is decide. They're easy, right? So that you can integrate this into your daily life, no matter what's going on. That's the whole point of a resilient routine. You're going to get a short audio message sent to your inbox every single day to inspire you and to keep you on track. I did it as an audio message on purpose so that you don't need to be glued to a screen. You can listen in the car. You can listen if you're out for a walk. You can listen if you're sitting in the backyard with a cup of tea. They're less than 15 minutes. Okay? But they are designed so that you can listen to them any time of day. You get access to a community of fellow survivors in my Healthy Living After Breast Cancer Facebook community. Okay? You're going to get a simple habits tracker to measure and celebrate your small wins, because what we can't measure, we can't grow. What we can't measure, we can't grow. And so literally, this is super simple, a habits tracker to measure the one thing per day that you are being tasked with. So let's talk about how this is going to help you overcome the fatigue, right? These easy tasks do not require a lot of energy. Like I said, I've designed this specifically with you in mind. I've also designed it partly because this is who I am, but partly because also I believe that this is what you're craving, is a gentle, supportive approach that respects where you are today, that respects your journey, that understands that what you've been through is hard and understands that you might be surrounded by other people that just don't get it. Okay. So this is how I've designed this. We focus on progress, not perfection. I'm going to let perfection go. So it's way too much pressure for us right now. And as a recovering perfectionist, this is why I'm laughing. Like, that used to be me. It's like, if I don't do it good enough, then why bother? I've let go of that because now I know it's about the small, easy steps that build up the momentum. Not only that, but it helps build your confidence and your trust in yourself, in your body, in your mind, in your heart, that you can do this. Okay. So I'm here holding out my hand today to encourage you to take the first step towards that healthier and happier life that you're craving. I will be sharing over and over throughout our 5 days together how small changes can lead to significant improvements over time. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So please join us. for the 5-day summer reset. You're going to find a link around this video wherever you're watching. You can sign up. When you sign up, you're going to get an email with all of the information, how it works, what's expected, how to join the Facebook group, everything you need, right? Trust me, made it super, super simple for you. And then throughout the reset, you'll get an email at 6 a.m. Eastern time every day for the 5 days. That's it, right? You'll listen to your audio. You'll do your task of the day. You'll mark your habit tracker. And then, if you want to really get involved, there's a special raffle that I'm running for a prize that's a $297 value. Pretty cool, right? When every time you show your tracker in our Facebook group, you will be entered into our raffle. Okay, so you've got to be in the Facebook group and be active and be posting to get that prize. Okay, the more you post every day, the more chances that you have. Now, I truly do understand that life after breast cancer is hard, but I want you to know that you're not alone. Okay, you deserve to feel healthy. You deserve to feel happy. And I am here to help you achieve that. And I'm here every single step of the way. But start here by joining us in the 5-day summer reset. It's free, no cost whatsoever. I just am excited to support you on your journey and to give you this little start, right, towards your healthier and happier life. So thank you so, so much for watching. Again, my name is Karin Del Maestro. I'm your health coach, your resilient routines expert, and I specialize in helping breast cancer survivors like you build habits that withstand the challenges of life, fatigue, stress, and even chocolate cravings. Okay, I cannot wait to see your name pop up in our 5-day summer reset. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.